4 heroes, 11 hero skins, a ton of clone skins, 4 maps, 1 galactic assault level, 1 game mode, 3 new vehicles, 2 reinforcements, lightsaber changes, health cards, UI changes, probably more I've missed out, and most importantly, lots of new bugs. This is Star Wars Battlefront 2, and today I'm going to be reviewing the full Clone Wars season together. Jokes aside, guys, I don't want to make it look like I'm complaining here because overall I'm satisfied as someone who has played the game since day one, and I had to go through, like a lot of other players, a lot of pain last year with the lackluster updates, the lack of communication in general, and just really a lack of anything. It was really such a boring year for Battlefront, but I stuck through it because I believed that somewhere at the end of it we would get a substantial amount of content, and would you look at that, I have to say, for the most part, this Clone Wars season does impress me. It's weird because people will always take the negatives I bring up, like I didn't like the Geonosis map, I'm not a fan of the concept of the new game mode, and they'll take those points and think like, oh, you hate all this new content. That is not true, because if we look at it from the bigger picture, let's go through things. The 4 new heroes are all unique in themselves. I was always worried about them just feeling a bit too similar. And apart from Obi-Wan, who I have to say I'm still extremely disappointed, I just feel like his abilities are pretty rushed, like carbon copies of other hero abilities as well. For example, his push is kinda like Luke's, his dash is kinda like Grievous's, and his mind trick is basically Rey's but worse. I don't know, Obi-Wan, they could buff him and fix him, but Anakin, Dooku, Grievous, I'm very fond of. Grievous is so unique, and we all thought they were going to fail with Grievous, like he'd be full of bugs. He was a bit buggy, but he works for the most part, and he's pretty amazing now. Dooku offers style like no other hero in this game, and while Anakin is just completely overpowered, and while yes, I admit he needs a nerf, he's fun to use. The clone skins, they really came back on this one, you know. The clone skins were in a bit of a mess because none of them were accurate, and in February they just completely updated these. They added a bunch to the game, and I couldn't even be bothered counting how many clone skins there are for this video. Not because I'm lazy, because there's just so many that I didn't want to count. There's so many to choose from, and that is the point, that there should be an amount of content where we don't need to sit there and start counting it. Like, there's so much on offer for the clones, and it breaks my heart that there's nothing for the young battle droids. Hero skins. Now I'm hearing rumours that Anakin won't be getting a 3rd skin, which is very saddening. However, let's go through the heroes. Grievous's skins, I feel like they're kinda similar to one another. We only needed one or the other in my opinion, but his 80,000 legendary skin is pretty epic. Would I have made it an epic skin instead? Yes, but I really do love it. Battle damage is kind of just the same. Obi-Wan skins, you know, I'm not a fan of these robe skins. I think they should be 20,000, but his Clone Wars skin is one of my favourites in the game. Dooku has the best options for me. Dark Ritual, does it look as good on the real life interpretation of Count Dooku than it does in the Clone Wars animated version? Absolutely not. But it's a nice little skin there, along with his normal Sith Lord skin, and then the exquisite pajamas. What can I say? They're exquisite. Then Anakin currently has the robe skin. As of now, doesn't have a 3rd one, but the robes, I'd just make them a bit cheaper. 1 new Galactic Assault level. You know, I don't like the Geonosis Galactic Assault level. I feel like the 2nd and 3rd phase are basically the same. The 1st phase is very lazy and nothing new we've ever seen before. And that's one of the negatives I can find. You know, I have a whole video in Geonosis, but that's not to say I didn't like parts about it. The new vehicles are absolutely fantastic. Design-wise, and you know how the map actually looks, Geonosis is absolutely beautiful, but it's unfortunate that we can't go inside the droid factory, any of the Separatist ships while they're on the ground at least. And yeah, no Geonosian warriors. That was always something I just didn't like. 3 new vehicles though. The ATTE is such a pleasure to use. I really love this. The Stap and the Bark Speeder, while they are just other interpretations of speeders, they're fun to use. The Stap, I really like it, and I do feel like one of those droids from the Phantom Menace, riding around on my Stap. They're so fun. They smashed the vehicles, they really did. New reinforcements are fantastic. Really fans of these. People are saying, oh, they're not too good, they need a bit of a buff. Well, they're reinforcements at the end of the day, they're not heroes. Commando droids, in universe I prefer them to droidicas. Gameplay wise I'd prefer droidicas, but in universe I really love commando droids. Brilliant set of abilities. They really do feel like infiltrators, how you can have the vision and throw some smoke down. Really like them. The dual wielding pistols for the ARC troopers, what can I say? It's an absolute blast to just spam these things. A lot of you guys were just saying I was breaking my controller in stream. I probably was. These things are an absolute pleasure. Lightsaber changes, you know, given what they've had to work with, because obviously they can't go changing the whole lightsaber combat system, I'd rate it a 10. Now, a 10 out of 10 easily. With what they've got to work with the current system, this works. It couldn't have got any better with what the current system is. And I do take back something I said last week about how I don't like it when your stamina's drained that you can't swing a lightsaber. I actually support this now, because I feel it stops the just constant blocking and lightsaber duels, and it does allow for sometimes an enemy to be defeated where they otherwise wouldn't be in the past. Health cards for heroes, these were some of the first things we got in October actually, and it's nice to see every hero has a health card now. Would I change some to health on kill cards? I've spoken about this in the past for like Phasma, Finn, Chewie, absolutely, but that is things that can be done in the future. It's really nice to see every hero has a health card now. UI changes, obviously we can see rolls on screen now and how many we've got left. The stamina bar has changed, and there's just all different types of UI changes which are welcome additions to the game. Always just trying to make things as easy for the player as possible, and that is something you've always got to make sure is the case. Finally, the bugs. There's so many bugs. You know, there's always going to be bugs in games, but I think this is something where DICE seem to accelerate, let's say, in bugs. There seems to be a lot more bugs in this game than there is other games, and if I was to, you know, pick them apart on one thing, it would be bugs. It's unfortunate because they can be very off-putting, and I just hope they can sort out a lot of these. There's a huge list to go through, but you know what, instead of me bringing them all up here because we know what they are, let me know your favourite bugs in the comments section. Thank you for watching everyone. I had to give an opinion on this season as a whole. I think it's brilliant, and I'm just mad that they spaced it out so much, because sometimes it's just made it feel like it's dragging. When something's finally arrived, it's kind of felt like, oh well, it's finally here, we've waited so long, I'm not even excited anymore. And I did get that feeling sometimes, but overall now everything is here. The game feels like it has that Clone Wars content that it was missing for so long, and I have to applaud EA and DICE. You guys make mistakes, and people always seem to call me out on the mistakes more than the positives I point out, but for the most part you guys did amazing, and it's nice to have this, you know, modern day Star Wars game where I can feel like I'm in the Star Wars universe, until a bug hits obviously. But thank you EA and DICE, you know, for once, everything else aside, thank you for what we've got here, because as a guy who grew up with the prequels and the Clone Wars, it just feels incredible to use half of this content. But don't worry, because I'll probably be moaning again next video. Thank you very much for watching everyone, and I will see you all next time.